The modern web operates on a simple premise: a client browser requesting data from a server over the HTTP protocol. Traditional web servers, like Apache, are highly optimized to answer these requests when the response is a static HTML page or an image. They hit a structural limitation, however, when asked to execute complex, object-oriented business logic or query a relational database on the fly. The challenge in enterprise development is connecting a stateful, object-oriented language like Java to the stateless, text-based nature of HTTP. To translate web requests into executable Java code without completely rebuilding the underlying server infrastructure, a structural bridge is required. The J2EE platform provides this specific solution. It is called the Web Container, or the Servlet Engine. It sits directly inside the web server, creating a secure, isolated runtime environment designed explicitly to manage server-side logic. When an HTTP request arrives, the web server passes it to the container, which is responsible for mapping that specific URL to the correct internal program. That internal program is the Java servlet. Servlets do not run as standalone applications. They lack a traditional main.execution method, meaning they rely entirely on the web container for their lifecycle. By relinquishing execution control to the container, developers can scale dynamic web applications securely, allowing the web server to handle raw network traffic while the container manages the logic. The internal architecture of the Servlet API enforces strict separation of concerns, isolating developers from low-level networking. Everything stems from a single root node, the jax.servlet.servlet interface. This abstract interface mandates core behavior. Implementing it directly requires massive boilerplate code, so the J2EE NPI provides the generic servlet abstract class to implement basic lifecycle methods automatically. Generic servlet remains protocol agnostic. It has no inherent understanding of web traffic or HTTP mechanics. For actual web development, developers use a specialized subclass, HTTP Servlet. This deep inheritance structure deliberately hides the complex details of socket connections and packet routing behind clean, manageable Java classes. The HTTP Servlet class specifically targets the HTTP protocol to automate how incoming traffic is categorized. When traffic arrives, the built-in service method reads the incoming HTTP method type directly from the request. If it detects a GET request, it bypasses manual routing and maps the call directly to do GET. If it detects a POST request, it routes straight to do POST. The container then takes the raw text of the client's data payload and injects it into an HTTP request object for the developer to access. It simultaneously generates an HTTP response object, which acts as the dedicated outbound stream back to the client. This object-oriented abstraction allows the developer to focus exclusively on coding the business logic rather than parsing raw network strings. To understand performance, we track the chronological lifecycle of this servlet under actual server load. The web container exercises absolute control over the servlet's timeline through a strict three-step state machine. Step 1 is the instantiation phase, handled directly by the init method. The web container calls this method exactly once during the program's entire lifecycle. Inside init, the servlet establishes all of its heavy, shared resources, like opening connection pools to a database. Once the setup is complete, the servlet remains resident in the server's memory. Forcing this heavy initialization logic to execute only once up front prevents severe bottlenecks when high volumes of user traffic arrive. Step 2 is execution, driven by the service method. The container doesn't reload the servlet for every new request. It reuses that single, pre-initialized instance. For every incoming HTTP request, the container spins up a new independent thread that accesses the existing service method. This is the multi-threaded operational state where the application actually processes concurrent user data. Step 3 is the teardown phase, triggered by the destroy method. The container calls destroy exactly once, specifically when the application is halted or the server itself shuts down. Its critical function is to cleanly close open files and sever database connections before the Java garbage collector reclaims the memory. This rigid timeline allows a single Java class to safely process thousands of concurrent requests without triggering memory leaks or crashing the server. We can now watch a complete request traverse the system. The web server manages the raw network connection, immediately handing the traffic to the web container, which manages the object lifecycles in memory. The servlet thread executes the logic, constructs the HTTP response data payload, and the container passes it back to the client browser. This architecture ensures developers write business logic without ever touching low-level server administration protocols. The speed and performance of enterprise Java web applications rely entirely on trusting this container-managed lifecycle. These servlet mechanics form the absolute bedrock of server-side Java programming. Modern frameworks like Spring MVC are highly complex abstractions that are built directly on top of this exact architecture. Mastering how the web container manages threads and memory is the prerequisite for debugging any modern backend engineering environment. While specific frameworks evolve, J2EE principles of the web container remain the standard for enterprise reliability.